Welcome to Intermission at Folk Night at the Registry. I'm Jan Vanderhorst, and now we get to spend a few minutes with tonight's performers, Scott Cook and Pamela Mae. Welcome to Kitchener once again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Now, your last album was 2020's Tangle of Souls, which was recorded in Australia, and it came with a 240-page book with photos and artwork and stories. Given we're in the age of downloading, are you surprised at how well it's been received in these last 4 years?
Yeah, it certainly has been well received. I think 2020 was a unique time. We were living at home in Edmonton, and people were really generous. People were reaching out a lot. There was a lot of interest and pre-orders and that sort of thing. I got 5,000 printed when they first came, and they came on 2 pallets. They were 2,344 pounds.
I'm glad it was the pandemic because no one else was on the road when you drove that home.
Yeah, I drove them on like a rented utility trailer. But yeah, we're on to, is it 3rd printing now? Yeah, I think 3rd printing now. So, I mean, they've been going out. They've found homes on a lot of bookshelves, and I'm really happy for that. Part of it is that my music isn't on the streaming platforms, or most of my music isn't. And the other part of it, I think, is just that people like leaving a show with something that they can take home and read a little more and dig a little deeper. Yeah, it's been wonderful to see the reception. I'm hoping that books won't go out of stock.
Yeah.
Right.
Like CDs, I know. You're doing your best to make sure that it doesn't.
Yeah. Have you found that people are as interested in the stories than as they are the songs?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I for sure always was. When I was getting into music, back when I was younger, maybe you would. This is a common experience for all of us, but I think I used to listen to things more. More times, if I loved an album, I'd listen to it over and over, and then of course I got curious about what are they singing about, and what's the story behind this,
Yeah, you'd listen to an album so much that you could anticipate the next song. You'd start singing it in the break between the one song and the next.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
it was like a whole, like Pink Floyd The Wall or something, just like a whole experience.
Yeah, a lot of the stories in that with that album, you're quite honest about your upbringing and the struggles you've had with various things. Was that difficult to put down and commit to paper?
I guess I've been an oversharer for a while now, because I'm a songwriter, So I think I was just kind of used to trying to tell people the whole truth and laying my own life bare a bit in that way. But yeah, it did feel like a step further, especially because I was talking about a lot of stuff that I wasn't proud of in there. But I just felt like if it could be helpful to other people who with similar struggles, then it's worth saying.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was a unique time with the writing. I had started in 2019, but 2020, being at home, that's when the book really got ridiculously big. And that time was a unique time just because I was off the road for the first time in ages, and I had just moved in a house with Pamela the month before the pandemic hit, and it just being in one place and watching the seasons turn and kind of being withdrawn from the world a bit because we were all hanging out at home for the most part. Really gave a lot of space for reflection and to go a little deeper into some of that stuff.
Right. Now, the two of you crisscross in North America in a camper van that is solar powered. Where did you get the idea for doing that?
Just the interior is solar powered.
Okay.
The camper van itself is diesel powered.
Yeah, it would be
So-
great. to
Yeah,
just
that would be
the-
great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If we could run
Sun
on
sailors.
sunshine. Yeah. Yeah, we're not saving the world 1 gig at a time or
no.
anything, but we got the idea of a bigger van because I used to tour and live in a minivan for 13 years. Pamela came with me across the country in 2019.
Before I played the bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
The upright bass.
Before she
So it
played
takes a
this
bit
thing.
more time.
Yeah,
A bit
he
more
needed
space,
a
I
bit
mean.
more space.
Yes, yeah. So now we've got a van big enough that
Yeah.
that she could stand up and play that, and we can even have a party. We've had
Yeah.
like 3 folks over, and the 2 of us.
Yeah, we've
That's
had some
about
jams in there.
capacity for a hang inside the van.
Part of the great joy of being on the road for me anyhow is that we can live a lot of our lives outside. So
Mhm.
we look for parks, look for the national parks when we're stateside, especially in campgrounds and people's people's driveways as well. But yeah, you're just waking up. You're waking up with the birds. It feels great. Those days are numbered. But
On this trip,
yeah.
yeah.
no heat. We don't
No.
have heat. So
Oh,
we're-
okay.
yeah.
Makes a difference. You've been working on some new songs for a new album. When do you see it being released?
Yeah, we've been in the studio back in Edmonton. We were recording with a friend named Miles Wilkinson, who cut a bunch of records with Guy Clark and Anne Murray and Daryl Scott, other people. And nowadays he's a volunteer at the college radio station in Edmonton. So we did our recording with him. Now we're getting parts from other players. Just got a fiddle part emailed from John Showman just a couple days ago. And yeah, I'm just kind of assembling all that and still working on the book that will go with it. And I hope to be mailing it out to my mailing list followers early in the new year, and probably looking at an April or May release for the rest of the world. So
And how big will the booklet be?
slightly smaller than the last one, for the reason that Canada Post has a very strict 2-centimeter limit for letter size mail. So,
Right.
yeah, just gonna go a little slimmer than that. But I'm thinking a fold out. I've got the words and chords to all the songs in my albums, and Pamela was talking with the previous albums of how it's not really easy to look at it while it's in a book,
Right.
So I want to have a fold out thing where you can play along.
Yeah, a little more rise up singing style.
Yeah,
Right.
and a little more, something to show off. On the stage. Got to wow them somehow with the next physical thing.
Yeah.
There's a number of your songs that take a political slant, and since you tour through the States, how well have some of those songs gone over, like Get 'Em Letitia Jones?
Oh, yeah. The song about Letitia James is
Sorry.
is one we don't always play, just because I wouldn't want it to feel partisan. It could feel partisan. I think particularly in the wake of of her winning her case against Trump, it could feel partisan. She was on the news. And I just think we tend to interpret the world through partisan lenses. I want our shows to be a place where everybody feels welcome and where nobody feels attacked, except maybe if a billionaire was there.
That song does get requested in the States quite often, especially over in New York or closer to.
Yeah.
And the emphasis being that she's such an incredible public servant. She's done so many things. I remember when Scott was writing that during the pandemic, and, he'd be in his soft pants in his room, and I'd walk by, because it goes into this bit of a folk rap. It's one of the few songs that is on Spotify, actually. And he's just like, I could see him like moving and moving his hands and dancing around. It's like, oh boy, it's gotten to him. But then he came out, he's like, I got this song. And it's this amazing CV of the New York State Attorney General, or no, and yeah, it's great. So people do love it in the States.
Right.
And we also play events where it would go over well.
Yeah, for sure. And she does have an amazing CV, and that's the reason it had to be a rap, just to tell
Get it all out.
half of her story, because
Right.
it's just an amazing story. And yeah, as Pamela said, I mean, she's a public servant in that sense. I mean, everything is partisan in the States. You run for sheriff and
Yeah.
Yes.
dog catcher and everything.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
But she really is a public servant, and she took down Governor Cuomo, who was a fellow Democrat. I think what she does, she really does in the public interest. But yeah, we have a lot of political material in our sets, and nobody's really picked a fight with us. We've been through 46 states, I think, so far, and sung in just about all of them.
Yeah.
And,
Nobody's walked out.
yeah.
All right. Well, it seems to me that you're carrying on the tradition of Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger and folks like that. So I just want to thank you very much, you and Pamela, for this time. And that's it for the intermission. And let's get ready for the second half of the show.
Thanks, Jan.